every rescue begins with a moment that is impossible to forget. For me, it was the sound of tiny paws scraping weakly against the pavement. When I first saw Blair, she was standing in the middle of the street, her body so thin it looked as though the wind itself could knock her over. Her back had curved from weeks of starvation. Every step made her stumble. Yet somehow, the moment she noticed the smell of food, she still tried to come closer, not because she trusted people, but because hunger had become stronger than fear. And sometimes, that is what survival looks like. The day everything changed, Blair did not run toward me like a happy dog. She moved carefully, hesitantly, as if life had already taught her that humans could not be trusted. Her eyes never stayed still. Even while eating, she kept glancing around nervously, waiting for someone to shout, hit her, or take the food away. Animals who have lived through neglect often behave this way. Rescue workers see it all the time. A starving dog may eat quickly, but a traumatized dog eats fearfully. That difference matters. Her ribs pressed sharply against her skin. Her legs trembled so badly that halfway toward the bowl, she collapsed onto the ground. I remember kneeling beside her and realizing how frightening loneliness must feel when no one has touched you gently in a very long time. At Safetail Rescue, we rushed Blair to the veterinary clinic immediately. The doctors explained that severe dehydration and malnutrition had already begun shutting her body down. They warned us honestly, another week on the streets might have been fatal, but Blair still fought to live. That is the extraordinary thing about animals. Even after cruelty, abandonment, and hunger, many of them still choose trust when given a single reason to believe again. Day after day, we fed her small meals, gave her medication, and sat quietly beside her so she could learn that not every hand brings pain. Slowly, tiny changes began to appear. Her spine straightened little by little. Her breathing became calmer. The fear in her eyes softened. Then one morning, her tail wagged for the first time. It lasted only a few seconds, but everyone in the room noticed it immediately. Because sometimes healing does not arrive in dramatic moments. Sometimes it arrives quietly, in the smallest signs that life is returning. Today, Blair sleeps peacefully beside me every night. She follows me from room to room like a shadow. She waits at the door every morning, excited for another ordinary day, filled with safety, warmth, and love. The same dog who once looked terrified of the entire world now falls asleep with complete trust. And honestly, I think stories like Blair's matter because they remind us of something people often forget. Kindness may seem small to the person giving it, but to someone who has suffered for a long time, it can feel like an entirely new life. If Blair's journey touched your heart, please like, subscribe, and share this story so more abandoned animals can be seen, rescued, and loved before it is too late.